If you've been diagnosed with a thyroid condition, what's the number one strategy that's recommended to you to help improve your symptoms? It's medication. And a lot of times when we first get that prescription, we're filled with a lot of hope and optimism because finally we have a solution to all the symptoms that we've been dealing with for a number of years. Unfortunately, the reality is for thousands of patients, once they get that medication, is they don't see the change and improvement that they were hoping to see. In today's video, I'm going to cover the 3 huge reasons why your medication isn't working for you and why you're not seeing the improvements in your overall well-being and your symptoms. For the best information when it comes to natural ways to support your thyroid, make sure you subscribe to my channel and ring the bell. That way you'll be notified when I post a video each and every Thursday. My name is Dr. Bodle, and I help women who are struggling with chronic thyroid symptoms and Hashimoto's improve their energy and lose weight naturally. That being said, medication is an important piece of the puzzle, and there's a couple things that I want you to understand about how it works and what its limitations are. Now, before we get too far into it, and I know you guys know this, but this video is for educational purposes. I want you to better understand how your body works and how it interacts with the medication. But it is not a replacement for medical advice, and you need to talk to your doctor before making any changes. The first reason why your medication might not be working for you is because you haven't chosen the right one. Now, this is a topic that I'm always a little leery discussing because people focus so intently on it, and it really is only a small part of the overall picture. People will think that if they can just find the right medication, then all their problems will be solved, and this is usually not the case. What this leads to is people cycling through different medications, going from synthetic to natural, T4 to T3, and expecting to see different results. However, those results usually don't last very long and are not sustainable. To be honest, I think a medication that works for you is one that doesn't cause any adverse reactions, helps to normalize your TSH and thyroid hormone levels, and if we get a slight bump in how you feel, then that's an added bonus. But it's unlikely that that bonus lasts long term. So even though I think it's well within reason to discuss with your doctor different fillers that are in thyroid medication, how you might respond to T4, T3, or a combo medication, and the differences between synthetic and natural, it's unlikely that any medication is superior to another as a general rule. Again, we have to figure out what works best for your individual system. Although it would be nice if there was some perfect medication out there that would instantly solve all your problems, it's unlikely to exist. And the reason for that is because hormone replacement does not fix the root cause of thyroid issues. It's just a patch or something to cover up the symptoms. So don't stress yourself out by continually switching medications trying to find the right one, because that often leads to years of frustration rather than resolution. The second reason why your medication might not be working is because of gut problems. So if we have anything, any kind of food, any kind of medication, any kind of supplement that we are ingesting, we need to be able to break that down and absorb it into our system. It'd kind of be like walking to your mailbox, picking up all your mail, but before you get back into the house, you drop it all over the driveway. It doesn't do you a lot of good unless you can deliver it into a place where you can actually use it. So if you've been noticing an increase in food reactions, you're having changes in bowel movements, you have bloating, digestive cramping, reflux, any of those things, that can be an indicator that your gut is not working like it should be, and there's a possibility that you're not absorbing nutrients or your medication like you'd like to. So if you've noticed you've had an increase in food reactions, changes in bowel movements, reflux, bloating, digestive cramping, all of these are indicators that your gut might not be working like it should be, and therefore whenever you try to absorb something, especially something like medication, it is not going to be broken down and transferred into the system as efficiently as it could be. Inflammation has the ability to interrupt and disrupt just about any part of our physiology, and our gut is no different. I've used this example before, but think of it kind of like sticking gum in a keyhole. It makes it very difficult for us to use that key for obvious reasons. If we have inflammation in our gastrointestinal tract, then medication will not be properly absorbed, and therefore the effectiveness of that medication may be diminished. So if we want the best bang for our buck and we want to optimize the medication that we're taking, we have to make sure we're managing inflammation in our gut. If we have gastrointestinal dysfunction, it's going to make it very difficult to get the appropriate dosage into our system and actually see the benefits. When it comes to your health journey, what sort of strategies have benefited you the most? Has it been working with your doctor and changing around your medication? Or have natural strategies been more helpful? Maybe it's been a combination of both. Leave me a comment below and let me know what your experience has been. The third and most important reason why your medication isn't working for you, and we touched on this just a little bit ago, is medication does not address the root cause of thyroid problems. It is only there to help manage symptoms, and it doesn't always do a very good job at that. The most common cause of low thyroid symptoms is Hashimoto's, and if you're unfamiliar with it, go ahead and check out my video on Hashimoto's, the basics your doc didn't explain to you, and it will cover all of those details. But to put it very quickly and briefly for you, Hashimoto's is an autoimmune condition which can be identified by checking for positive TPO or TG antibodies on labs. The key thing to understand here is the cause of the low thyroid hormone is not occurring randomly. It's due to the fact that we have autoimmune activity which is damaging our thyroid gland, leading to the decreased production in our thyroid hormone. This means that if we don't do anything to address the immune system, we will never see the results that we want in terms of how we feel. I typically explain this to my patients using a leaky bucket analogy. So if we have a bucket whose job is to carry water, we don't want any leaks or holes in that bucket, obviously. And I think any normal person would say if we did have a hole in the bucket, we would want to patch that hole. However, when it comes to thyroid management, I think we always approach it by just trying to fill the bucket with more water. Yeah, there's water leaking out the back side of it, but we're just going to continually put more in the top and hope that that fixes things. The tricky thing about Hashimoto's and thyroid conditions is they're obviously more complicated than a bucket. And I'll tell my patients it would be like the hole in that bucket changes size on a day-to-day, week-to-week, and month-by-month basis. The reason for this is because there's so many different things that can affect your immune system. And in the case of Hashimoto's, we know that that is the primary driver. Whether your thyroid is functioning well or functioning poorly, it is all due to immune system activity and the associated inflammation. Since your immune system can fluctuate on a day-to-day basis, it becomes very difficult to appropriately dose someone for a 3 or 6 month period, even when you're getting regular testing done by your doctor. Not only does the instability make it almost impossible to get the appropriate dosage, the activity associated with Hashimoto's will chronically and progressively damage the way your thyroid gland works. So that hole that we talked about, yes, it's fluctuating, but it's also continually getting bigger and bigger and bigger. This means that someone will have to add more and more water to try to keep up with the amount that is being lost out through the bottom of the bucket. So even though there may be periods of time where your numbers look normal, you feel a little bit better, that is unlikely to last unless we address our immune system, reduce inflammation, and support our body as a whole. I'll say it one more time. Medication does not fix the hole in the bucket. It just adds more water to the bucket. Also, it does not fix low thyroid. It only helps to manage the symptoms. That's why in theory, having the appropriate dosage, having the right kind of medication can be great, but it doesn't always play out in the real world and in terms of how we feel. To quickly recap, those are the 3 huge reasons why your thyroid medication might not be working for you. The first is you haven't chosen the right medication and it is causing a negative response for your physiology. The second is you have gut symptoms and gut inflammation that are preventing the absorption of the full dose of your thyroid hormone. And the last is that you have an undiagnosed autoimmune condition called Hashimoto's, which is continually and progressively damaging your thyroid gland, leading to an increase in thyroid hormone need as time goes on. If you like this content and want to learn more natural strategies to help support your thyroid, I have a newly updated food strategy guide titled 109 Foods to Boost Your Thyroid. It includes a complete list of foods that you should and shouldn't eat to help improve your energy and help you lose weight. And I use it with my patients in the practice every single day. You can download it from the link in the description below. As always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, check out some of my other thyroid videos where we take a deeper dive into natural strategies to help support your thyroid gland and Hashimoto's. If you know a friend or family member who might enjoy the content, feel free to share it with them. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you hanging out with me. I'm Dr. Bodle, and I'll see you guys in the next video.